Yo, Radesh here. How's it going? This video will be a little different because I'm gonna share a piece of my life with you. It's 100% my journey and how I went from really early fascination to a career in software development. So grab a drink and let me tell you how programming really changed my life. Right, so I'll start from the beginning and try to work my way up. So I advise you to watch the whole thing if you wanna really understand all the hows and whys and hopefully even learn something from my journey. So let's jump right in. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that I'm some computer prodigy who's been coding since he was like 5 years old, because that's bullshit. But since I was little, I was always interested and intrigued by anything remotely electronic. I remember watching my father building PCs and repair stuff, and I always wanted to play and tinker with anything technology related, even if it was something as simple as like a broken down hairdryer. That's basically how it all started. Just having somebody around who was kinda into the tech field really sparked my interest about what would later become a really important part of my life. Right, so I was excited about technology, and that's cool, but I still didn't write a single line of code. But that all changed in middle school. There was this compulsory class that was kinda like an intro to computer science, or something like that. The only problem was that the teacher assigned to my class wasn't really in the mood to actually teach what he was supposed to teach. So naturally, I hated it. Somehow I managed to pass, but I didn't really want to look at code ever again. Fast forward a couple of years, it was time for high school. And that's when I found out that I'll have computer programming classes every semester for the next 4 years. You can imagine how happy I was. The first 2 years were pretty okay, again due to a teacher who was not really in the mood for teaching. She was also pretty chill, so I just passed under the radar. And then 11th grade came. And it seemed that over the summer, everybody kind of figured out what they want to do with their lives. And I didn't. So I quickly went from not stressed Radesh to very stressed Radesh. What am I going to do? I'll be a loser, and I'm not good at anything, were some of the thoughts that were creeping inside my brain. But then something pretty unexpected happened. For some reason, our teacher got replaced, and her replacement was somebody who was way more involved, and she actually wanted to make us understand and like computer science. And I remember being surprised at first, then I started liking and understanding what she was teaching, and quickly after I was like, okay, this is it, I know what I want to do, and I want to learn more. So as I was learning more and more, I started preparing for the baccalaureate, which is this multidisciplinary exam that you take in Romania after you finish high school. The grade that you get on that exam carries a certain weight when you want to apply to university. So I needed to give it my best. And I did. I was focused on solving and understanding previous versions of the exam, and I was feeling pretty good about it. But not for long, because the baccalaureate was like the first enemy in the game. Nice and simple. And after it was the final boss, the university admission exam. And let me tell you, it was another level. I looked over the exam from the last year and I could barely score a few points. I was fucking terrified. I quickly realized that not even my new teacher was going to cut it. So I convinced a really good teacher to work with me in private. And he wasn't really feeling me. And by that I mean, he literally told me that my chances of getting in were very slim. But it all depended on me. And by the way, this was happening like half a year before the exams. The following months were like really hard. I had basically no social life, the parties were gone from my schedule, and I was basically dreaming code. But that wasn't really the hardest part. My mind was actually my biggest enemy, because I had a lot of failure-inducing thoughts that were basically saying that I'm not gonna make it, why bother, stop learning, stuff like that. But I managed to push on up until the day of the baccalaureate. I took the exam, and shortly after I got the results. And naturally for me, I bricked it. I made some stupid mistakes, and they added up, so my grade wasn't that good. And now my chances of getting into uni were that much lower. But I still had some time left. So I did not stop, and I continued to get better and better up until the day of the big exam. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. I was feeling really good, and I was laser focused. The results came back in like 2 weeks, and I actually got a really good grade, 7 out of 10. Especially for somebody who could not even score 3 out of 10 half a year before. And I remember looking over the list with the results, and I was shocked to see that I got a bigger grade than a lot of other people. So naturally, I started to feel better. Fast forward a couple of days, the initial list that took into account the baccalaureate grade were published. And Well, I couldn't really find myself on the list. Actually, I was number 102 below the admission line. It felt like the whole world collapsed. But how could this happen? Well, there were a lot of people who had a near perfect baccalaureate grade, and even though their admission exam grade was lower than mine, they were in and I was out. Funny stuff, right? But I still had a chance. All the people still needed to confirm their spot. So, if 102 people did not confirm their spot, I was in. Yeah, right. What were the chances? The next couple of weeks were like the most stressful weeks of my life. From time to time, the uni would post some initial lists, and I could see myself slowly going up. Some people were choosing to withdraw their application, probably because they were accepted by other universities. A couple of days later, the uni posted the final list. So the moment of truth finally came. Everybody who did not confirm their spot was automatically rejected, and the remaining positions were filled with people in the same situation as myself. So I clicked on the list. A PDF document opened in a new tab, and I quickly searched for my name. And I could not believe it. I was in. I made it. After that, it was pretty much smooth sailing. The next 3 years of university were filled with basically everything you need to know in order to survive in the real world. So data structures, operating systems, AI, machine learning, cryptography, different kinds of mathematics. I even did assembly language. That was awful. And we also did a lot of teamwork focused projects. After I finished uni and successfully presented my bachelor thesis, I started applying to a bunch of companies, and I actually got an internship offer at a Fortune 500 company. That's another moment that I still remember like it was yesterday. It was pretty late at night, and I received a call saying that okay, I was accepted and that I will shortly get an offer through email. And yeah, 5 minutes later the offer came, and I was like, okay, that was it. I made it. All the hard work paid off, and I knew that things would only like get better, and now I could really like focus on becoming a good software developer. So that's how programming changed my life. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm just kidding. So what are some lessons that I've learned? Should everybody just delay life-altering decisions until the last minute? It's not really a good idea. I realized that I had an immense amount of luck, and luck is not something you should really rely on, because you can have it today and tomorrow it's gone. So what you should really focus on is actually learning to do something, being able to make yourself useful to somebody else, because that's basically how the world works. If you want to get paid well, you have to learn something that not a lot of people know how to do. So I learned from my mistakes, and since then I'm constantly trying to get better at my craft and just learn as much as humanly possible. Okay, so second lesson or third lesson, I don't know. It's basically to never give up. If you want to accomplish something, just grind that thing until it becomes second nature. And I promise you, the more you work at something or towards a certain goal, even if it doesn't feel like it, you're getting closer, because a lot of other people are quitting. So just not quitting already gives you a huge advantage. Yeah, I think I'm done now. So that's basically it. A teacher who made me realize that coding is fun basically changed my life. That's basically it for this video. If it was really boring, I'm sorry. I don't really plan on making these kinds of videos very often. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that subscribe button, dropping a like, and feel free to give me any feedback in the comment section below. Until the next video, have a good one. Radesh out.